You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he trying to get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. We'll have a whole lot of bitches jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get his money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will cause a whole lot of jumping shit. You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get his money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. Will have a whole lot of jumping shit.
What's going on, party people? It's your man, 50 Grand, the Godfather, Nate Milton, and you are about to listen to another excellent episode from the Nefarious Media Network. Since January of 2025, we have been putting it down for the crown, and we've been committed to bringing you truthful, thoughtful, turned-up commentary as it pertains to the worlds of sports, politics, pop culture, pro wrestling, entertainment, and life. Yes, life. This thing that we are all just trying to get through day by day. An electric word called life, as the man used to say. And that brings us to the drive for 500. Yes, 500 YouTube subscribers, which gets us halfway to monetization, and 500 Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. That's our stretch goal for the year. Because if we hit those marks, it allows us the flexibility and the freedom and the funds, quite honestly, to do some more things here at the network, to be more consistent with our shows, to bring you new shows, and to bring some people on to help with production. So if you believe in us, man, if you believe in what we're doing here, because we got a lot of hard-working people, myself included, working 50, 60 hours a week at the shoot jobs, got families, got kids, got responsibilities, but we still do this, man, because we love this and we believe in this. And if you believe in us and you love the shows that we do, help us out, man. Help a brother out. Help a sister out. That's all we asking, because we are trying to change the game by any means necessary, even if those means may be nefarious.
With all that's going on in the world today, I am glad that you are able to find your way into class. And so I hope you brought your pen and your pad. You hear the horn sounding. We about to get on into it. You are welcome into Ring Theory. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Downtown Brown. And of course, I got my tag team partner, the Upper Mid-Card Mafia. Stand up. Where you at? I need to see y'all. Hey, Jey Lacey, where you
What is happening, my man? How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm feeling phenomenal, if you will. Hey.
Duly noted, duly noted.
We the EST. We the greatest around. You know, we have to break it down to you, but also we are not alone because we are in class today. And so with us being in class, we need a professor to help spit some knowledge. So, hey, where you at, Professor Chris Ealy? Come on, man. Come on stage.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How's it going?
Good, man. How about you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine, man. Just looking forward to the festivities, if you will.
Hey, well, we about to break down a lot of stuff today. We going into All Out, and the results of that we going into Wrestlepalooza. And we also going to talk about what we felt about the weekend, maybe some of those tactics that were going back and forth, and maybe the results of those, and how we felt maybe the audience had responded to that. On top of a new segment we're going to call Uncrowned, and getting into somebody who should have been a world champion, and from our perspectives, why they should be one day, possibly, if they have the chance, a world champion. So with that said, hey, hold on a second, because Fantastic Four ain't the only ones that's in theaters like that that's 4 rounds. So, hey, bring up my man, not one way, not 3-way, my man 2-way, Ray. Where you at, my dog?
I'm right here, brother. I thought you forgot about me. You know, I don't mind being in the shadows. I don't mind being a part of Unreal, being in the backstage, if you will. So, but it's all good.
We got you in the writer's room. We got you in front of the camera. Come on now, man. We got stuff to discuss today. And so, with all that said, how you doing?
I'm all right, brother. I'm all right. I had a decent week. We had an unexpected day off. Our school district celebrates it was Rosh Hashanah on Tuesday. So,
Rosh Hashanah.
That's pretty good.
Hey, we are not mad at that. People get to celebrate. People get to have peace and take their time for themselves. So,
indeed,
I'm glad you got to have it this week. But you know who did not have peace this week? That's AEW. AEW is under fire. Backs against the wall against a palooza, if you will. So, for you all, AEW All Out, WWE Wrestlepalooza, which one had your energy in this modern warfare that WWE just says, hey, we not letting it go, man. It's Electric Boogaloo #2. We're going to keep coming at y'all with these shows and whatnot. Now it's the ESPN debut. All guns going. Oh, we got Brock Lesnar and John Cena. We're going to throw that at you. Hey, wait a minute. Who came out of retirement? AJ Lee. She coming out to tag with her husband against Seth Rollins and his wife, Becky Lynch. Okay, we got all these great matches going on. But with all that noise, which show stood out more to you all? Let's start with Jay. How you feeling, man?
You know what? I feel honestly bad for those people that went out their way, download the ESPN app, only to watch Monday Night Raw Saturday night. That was trash. I mean, they, like you said, they brought out the big guns, and it turned out to be a super soaker. I mean, it was it really. You beat me to it. It wasn't trash. It wasn't garbage. It was basura. It was not good. At least, you know, to go and pay $39.99, whatever the app is, you know, to watch that. I've been hot. I mean, I called it Wrestlepalooza because WWE they lost this one, and we know AEW is gonna have like a 6-hour event, and you know they're going to bring their best. They're going to bring their A game, and even ESPN rated the Wrestlepalooza show a C. That's just telling you right there. You got your broadcast partner telling you straight out the gate, yo, this ain't it. If this is what we're paying all this money for right here, I don't think they're going to be on that network very long. That partnership, if to come out with an average, and I would even say a below average for all that noise they were making, show, it's not to the detriment of the performers themselves. The performers are the performers. I'm putting this on the backstage. I'm putting this all on Triple H and Regime to put out a show of that magnitude. They want to make it a tentpole event. That's a bad start, in my opinion. Chris, what do you think about either event? I mean, I honestly like AEW better, and I'm not I like the product, you know, so it doesn't matter which banner is being waved.
Right.
I want everybody to do well. But my opinion, I think AEW won, and it was like a 10-8 round. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. See, I hate having to do this because I always feel like I have to qualify my statements, especially when I'm about to dig in on WWE, because people already think I hate WWE, just like they thought I hated AEW when at the height of the Bloodline stuff, when WWE was hitting on all cylinders, and I was giving them compliments and not so nice to AEW. And I think it's safe to say it just hasn't been a good year for WWE. It hasn't been a horrible year. I'll wait until December 31st, 2025 to make that final indictment. But it hasn't been a good year. Like objectively speaking, it hasn't been a good year. The AEW pay-per-view was better. To put it in perspective, I came in on the AEW pay-per-view because I forgot they moved the time up as usual. And out here on the West Coast, when they move the time up, we're not talking about afternoon. We're talking about AM and shit. So Ray put me up on Gabe and said, oh, this is the early pay-per-view. So when he did that, I've watched it, started with the Mercedes match. Then I went back and watched the other matches. But I honestly must say, if all I came in on was the Mercedes match and then the rest of the show, I would have felt I got my money's worth. It was a very solid show. It was a show where it really felt like they weren't concerned about what the competition was doing. The Wrestlepalooza show was just nobody was asking for a Cena Lesnar match. And when it happened, it was like a massacre. And I kind of just knew this was going to happen because I know the kind of person John Cena is. And John Cena's not going to be wanting to win his last matches. He's the kind of guy that's going to want to lose those last matches. And that's traditionally how it is in wrestling. If you look at The Undertaker and Kevin Nash when he was on his way out of WWE and, just people like that, people want to go out on their back, right? But it was a hard show to find. The fact that ESPN nor the WWE has even released the numbers for the show is a telltale sign to me. And no matter what you say, it's expensive to pay $30 a month for ESPN when you've been used to paying $9.99 a month. And then when the Peacock came out, some people were paying like $5.99 a month for it, right?
Yeah.
Now you're asking them to jump up to pay $30 a month. And that show, if you're going to do that, it's got to be a fire show. And that show was not worth $30. It was worth 30 cents, but barely. It just wasn't good.
Wow.
Would you say the show was inflated? Because there was some good stuff on the show, like Io, Sky, and Stephanie Vaquer put on a great match.
Right.
I think the AJ Lee, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch match was a good match. It could have been a little bit shorter, but for 30 minutes, hey, that was still a good match. And to me, the biggest spectacle on the show. So,
right. I'd say
energy, but the rest of it felt inflated. The energy, this is going to be a WrestleMania level show. This did not feel like a WrestleMania level show. This did not feel, like you said, it's barely above a Saturday Night's Main Event. It's barely above a Raw. It's not anything that grand. I don't know. It just a lot of hype, a lot of barking, not a lot of biting.
They got catfished. The audience they were sold a bill of goods and they just did not deliver upon it. When you say something to the effect of this is going to be one of our tentpole events going forward, then you set the expectation up really, really high. I don't know. thankfully, I didn't watch it in real time. I had some other obligations going on. And then hearing, because I try to stay off of social media to, for spoilers and not hear anything. But the noise was, this was not a good show. And for those reasons, that's why I started watching that one first, because I knew AEW typically delivers, and going back and watching the AEW show, it did deliver. There were some dull spots and some disappointing ones where, I felt bad for Eddie Kingston. I mean, I think Asuka's hurricane that she threw on Monday Night Raw was a lot more efficient than the one Eddie Kingston threw. But again, Eddie Kingston is his first match back, give him some grace. But again, they didn't hype up and say this is going to be the show of all shows. You want to make sure you watch the show. That didn't come out their mouth. What they were saying was, and you could tell by the card that they put together, this is going to be our best outing that we're going to put down. It's going to be in Canada. And again, the performers on both sides did their thing. It just, one company decided to go all out and the other one just felt like they never win.
Yeah, and for the AJ Lee return in the CM Punk match, I the way I would describe it is it was serviceable. I don't know if I'm ready to call it good, and I don't fault anybody for calling it good. Because AJ Lee is a player, and her coming back is a big deal. But I thought the match was if I missed it, I wouldn't have felt I missed anything that I needed to see, and that's kind of the way I judge these shows. Because I'm like you, Jarek. I saw the show later, and it was just I found myself doing a lot of fast forwarding through it, and just a lot of just not paying attention to it. I really do wish it was a good show, and I'm not really. I understand that you want to strong arm AEW and be like, yo, we're going to air these shows head to head with you. It's whatever. But if you're going to do that, you got to put on good shows, man. It can't be this half-ass crap. It's got to be something where it's like, okay, we want to put on a good show to draw you away from AEW because we think we're the better product. Not something like, oh, we know AEW is on, so we're just going to show up and wreck shop just to do it. It's like seeing the ex-girlfriend that you broke up with at the club or a restaurant with a new guy, and you flossing just to floss. It makes no sense.
Let me ask you this, Chris. Do you think, because I want to hear your opinion on this. I think the way they could have made Wrestlepalooza better was to save AJ Lee actually coming out, not doing a match, but you know how she came out on SmackDown?
Right, yeah,
and having that be the surprise?
Yeah.
I think that's what Wrestlepalooza was missing. It had no pomp and circumstance. So if they would have pushed it back to saying, we think AJ Lee is coming back. We don't know. We don't know. And then, the show comes on and they have CM Punk wrestling somebody, and what's her name? Becky Lynch lays hands on him. And then the lighted up music comes on. That's everyone's first time seeing AJ Lee. Do you think that could have actually saved Wrestlepalooza?
Yeah, I think it could have. I think so, because I think wrestling fans in general, we live for moments, So even if, like, say 95% of the show was booty, if you've got one iconic, memorable moment on that show that people are like, man, did you see AJ Lee's return? Or did you, that does make the show eons better. Even like with like WrestleMania 30, it was an okay show. I'd even say it was a good show, but I think what makes that show so iconic is the fact that the Undertaker lost at that show, right? And then Daniel Bryan winning the belt at that show, it made it a better show, and a show that had a lot of okay stuff on it. And I think you're on to something, Jarek. I think with if you just if you save your moments for stuff like that, it makes it better, you know. And maybe the thought process was, okay, we want a hook for this show, so we'll advertise AJ Lee's match for the show instead of making it a surprise. You know, I'm spitballing here, guys. I'm trying, but maybe that's what their thought process was. Either way, they got to go back to the drawing board. I mean, WWE has botched so many things this year that it's going to be interesting to see how they come back from it in 2026.
You know they're going to start off in Saudi Arabia in 26, so we're going to see.
Yeah, yeah. I've resigned myself to the fact that those Saudi shows are just always going to be there, man. You know, it's like when Aaron Spelling used to produce TV shows in the 90s. You could guarantee one of his kids was going to be on the show, and that was just something you had to accept. It was going to be his son. I forget his son's name, or it was going to be Tori. They were going to be on the show, so that was just it. And I'm willing to do that with the Saudi Arabia stuff. I'm not looking for WWE to care anything about diversity, social justice, anything like that. That's just not where their head is at. Okay, fine. Give me good wrestling and we could call it a fucking day. And you know, we'll say what we're going to say about the Saudi stuff and you know how they treat talent and all that, but at the end of the day, I just want good wrestling.
True. You mean to tell me that big moment of Stephanie McMahon being announced?
Oh yeah,
Hall of Fame did not tickle your jiggles. That did not do it for you right there.
Yeah.
That wasn't the pomp and circumstance for you, Jay. Come on now.
Actually, Undertaker riding his bike down to go talk to her for that segment. That's what did it for me.
Yeah, And it's a good thing the Undertaker isn't wrestling anymore because I think he looked kind of corny doing that, you know.
Yeah.
My opinion, you know, it's just like riding his bike down and you know waxing poetic with the former boss's daughter. You know, to me it'd be like, you know, Ted Turner putting one of his kids in the Turner Hall of Fame, or Bob Iger putting Willow Bay in the Disney Hall of Fame. It's like,
and then having Tony Stark fly out to announce it too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's just look. I expect this from WWE. I don't want to complain about the stuff I expect too much, but you know, to me, it was a little corny.
Well, how about you, Ray? How are you feeling about the weekend in general? Where did your attention lie first? What did you enjoy the most from this weekend? And what are your just overall thoughts? Anything you noticed?
Well, I'm pretty much inconsistent with you guys. I was trying to tune into Wrestlepalooza, or not Wrestlepalooza, but All Out first. Didn't get a chance to check out the Tailgate Brawl, but I did try to tune in at least from the beginning part. I was helping out some family during the beginning of it, but I tried to at least keep an eye on it while I was watching. But yeah, I thought, like you guys mentioned, I won't belabor the point. All Out won the weekend. Wrestlepalooza, it was just like you guys mentioned. And I don't know why so many people, you mentioned, Jay, how the ESPN reviewer gave it a C.
Yeah, that was Andreas. That was
Exactly.
the homie Andreas. So.
Exactly. Shout out to Andreas Hale.
Yeah.
And he pretty much explained it. He gave explanation out of explanation. It was like, hey, I'm paid to cover the show regardless of affiliation, regardless of whether they're teamed up with my network or not. And I'm going to review it. I'm going to review it accordingly. So, and yeah, shout out to him as well. Yeah, he is good dude. If you haven't checked out his cartoon stuff that he's done with Jonathan Davenport and Big E, some good stuff, Black Heroes Rock. But and he also covers MMA as well. But yeah, the hate that he's been getting over saying it was a mid show. I'm like, what were y'all watching? Tell me what y'all was watching.
I've known Andreas for 8 years. That guy is not gonna be. If it wasn't a good, even though he works for ESPN, he's not gonna lie. That's not the kind of journalist he is. He's not gonna bullshit and say, "Oh, he was being nice by giving it a C." Because I give that shit like a D, not even a D plus. I give it not quite a D minus, but I give it a solid D. You know?
Yeah. Well, I thought he was right on the money. I thought it was a C because I thought it was a little bit harsh on the EO match by giving it a B plus. I'm like, brother, bump that up to an A.
Well, that was
solid. Yeah. Other than that, though, I thought he was right on point with everything. And if you guys didn't tune in live, we were doing a watch along of Wrestlepalooza, and I was pretty much on the air for like the first 45 minutes, and that's when like the first 2-3 matches happened. And I think Chris joined me while we were midway through EO versus Vaquer, aka Velcro, aka Vaquer. But I think Nate joined us a little later, and just even the order of the match card was puzzling. Because I'm like, you throwing John Cena versus Brock Lesnar first? Y'all really trying to get him in and out, get his paycheck, trying to get him out quick, right? And so it's like they did that, and then I thought Cena was going to go over, but then you have Brock Lesnar squash him, and not only squash him, but then I'm like, where do they go from here? Is Brock Lesnar going to challenge for the title? Where does John Cena go from here? Then cut to the next day, I'm hearing people talking about, they setting up for the rematch. Who said, what's the rematch?
Here's when I knew it was over for Cena. So they showed the record, he was 2-4 against Brock Lesnar one-on-one, right? And then he comes out with the little kids. He comes out with the little mini-me's. And he's dressed in yellow. Yep. And I get there in Indiana, in the home of the Pacers. That's great. But, I mean, he didn't take – it looked like he was just here to have a good time. And, hey, this is going to be an easy match. And then he didn't go to Suplex City. He went way past that and went to F5 City.
Right.
And, I was – I didn't realize he was going to get squashed like that. But after looking at it again, it's like, wow, they did it to him like that. And then the nefarious thing, the bad part about it was they showed these kids crying.
Oh, yeah. They showed the crying kids. I'm curious, like, how much are we to blame Cena for this horrible run, Because on the one hand, he's in the last year of his contract, and he's not there. He's not there, obviously, to complain about whatever they're giving him. He's there to do whatever they tell him to do, and he's got, Peacemaker and whatever DC movies he's doing on deck, whatever Judd Apatow movies that Judd Apatow wants him to do, he's got that on deck. And he's looking past WWE. I think it's safe to say that he's not looking at WWE as a destination. And he's not even looking at it as a journey at this point. He's looking at how fast can I get this fucking shit out the way and do the next thing. And is he a bad guy for not like kicking back enough at his creative? And I really don't know the answer to that, because people on my Instagram and on my especially on my Blue Sky, they've been coming at me like, well, he should care and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I understand that, but it's like when somebody tells you it's their last month or year or week at a job, typically in just regular corporate America, a lot of times those people aren't going to give you their best effort, And at a certain point, you got to make a decision on whether it's like, oh, okay, we'll keep you around to keep doing this lame shit, or you know what, you served us well enough. Why don't you bow out early, and we'll pay you whatever, And I just don't know, because I see the argument for both sides of the Cena thing, and I'm, I just see, I don't really fault him the way other fans do, but at the same time, I understand why he's being faulted.
Right. I think they're being a bit harsh when they're looking at it through that lens. I think, and we mentioned it before, and you've mentioned it ad nauseum since his return, Chris. He's just a company man. He's just like, I do what you need me to do until I'm gone. I do what you need me to do, not pushing back too much. The thing is, I think the onus is on the creative. It's on Triple H. It's on those writers to give him something to actually sink his teeth into. And I don't think he's necessarily phoning it in. I think he had to get his legs under him when it came to that program. Starting out with Cody, and then when it came to doing the stuff with Orton. But I think once he really got his feet under him with that second match against Cody, and then with that match against Logan Paul, I think he kind of found his groove back a little bit, but then just to be kind of taken all the way back, like one step forward, two steps backwards with the whole Brock Lesnar thing. And now he's out here making programs and making matches on TV, on social media.
Right.
And like, even then he's saying, like, we heard it before when he was like, hey, I just do what they tell me to do. They wanted to put Brock in. I'll just do what they tell me to do, which flew right into the face of what Triple H said. Oh, it was old Jones Cena. Old Jones I did. And now he's out here like, hey, listen to the people, Triple H. They want AJ Styles versus Cena again. So it's like, I think he's go ahead.
I'm like you, Ray. I don't fault him, but I also don't not fault him,
Right. You don't
just
fully excuse him.
Yeah, it's I'm in a weird purgatory situation with Cena. I don't blame him, but at the same time, it's like it's not like Cena's unknown for putting his foot in his angles when he thinks it's not going right. We could look at what happened with the Nexus, when he was the guy that said he should be the one that gets DDT'd on concrete and come back and pin the Nexus and end that shit, what he didn't like the guy, who was the guy's name they used to wear the varsity jacket that was following the Miz around for a little while. Riley.
Alex Riley, yeah.
Cena didn't like him, and he put the kibosh on that. Simon Rex said that Cena didn't like him when he was there. Cena has a history of putting his foot in stuff. It's just this year he's not gonna do that.
Don't forget JTG.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on JT and Shad Gaspard too, because I interviewed Shad Gaspard a long time ago, RIP, And he made clear that Cena wasn't that cool with him either. You know, Cena wasn't necessarily trying to do business with JTG and Chad.
Yeah, it's almost like he's in that era. And RIP to another legend, Kobe Bryant. He's almost in that era. It's like, oh, y'all want me to pass the ball? Okay, I'll pass the ball.
Because Kobe was phoning it in on his. I'm the biggest Kobe fan on the planet, but you can't say he wasn't phoning it in his last season. He was there to collect the paycheck. You know, he was
that
doing
last game.
Yeah, doing a favor for Jeannie, all that, and yeah, I think Cena's kind of in the same ballpark. But I don't know, y'all. Maybe y'all know better than me. Maybe you guys have a better, opinion on this. Like I said, I'm not blaming him, but at the same time, I'm not completely absolving him.
True.
I'll say this. I think John Cena's best storyline that he's got going on is Chris Smith is Peacemaker. That's it. That's the most compelling that he's doing right now for me. So other than that, I'm just here to watch the show.
Folks heard these rumors that have been going on talking about Edge contract ending in October. Him coming back, him being Cena's last opponent. Now we got the AJ style stuff going on, but it's supposedly almost confirmed. And so, like, that's going to be happening too. Like, there's a possibility that he'll be in War Games with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins and everybody else. It sounds like people are trying to jazz up the end of this retirement run for Cena. Are you buying it? Are you? Will it help save it for you? What are you feeling about those type of opportunities coming up?
Right. And just real quick, just add another one. People are like, oh, last show was in DC. You know, it was another former WWE champion who came out of DC who tried to shill in front of the audience one time wearing a doggone Georgetown jersey. Bautista.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking right there. See,
he my size now. He ain't coming back out of retirement.
Yeah, but Batista's made abundantly clear he's not coming back for anything like that.
Right.
As for Cena, is anything going to save this run for me? No. I wish I could say that because I wanted this to be a good heel turn. I think we all did. You know, we all talked about it and stuff, but this is actually, as far as like main eventers turning heel, this has to be up there amongst the worst, you know? Because even when people talk about Steve Austin's heel turn, Cena's heel turn, it wasn't a botched heel turn. It was just the fans were not wanting that at the moment. But they did try everything they could to get it over. You know, he feuded with guys that did kind of reach higher echelons feuding with them, like Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho. Kurt Angle had some really good work with him also. Who can you say that with on Cena in this run? Nobody's really elevated on it. We were thinking R-Truth, this might be a good moment for him, and he's right back to doing the same crap he was doing before. So it's like, what fruit has this Cena heel turn bared? And it's bared none.
Well, I think part of that is we dug our heels in the ground.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, being there live in the Rogers Center when that happened, that was phenomenal.
Right.
Literally phenomenal. I could not. That was one of the best moments I've ever been a part of. When that energy in the building, leaving the building, crazy. So much fun. But the execution after, if my man would have been coming out in suits, if he would have got rid of the jorts and everything, if he did what Roman Reigns did when he finally became tribal chief and did a complete flip of the gimmick, removing the vest, changing the style, adding an element of speaking or something that
Right, yeah.
differentiated his baby face from his heel.
Right.
That would have been the thing. But here's the funny thing, buddy. We already knew the dates for all the shows. We already knew where we were going.
Yep.
And so we printed a lot of
A
t-shirts.
lot of merch.
Yeah.
And because of that, we just couldn't let that go. So you know what?
Right.
Black and white Titantron. But you know, the gear still goes everywhere else. So we'll still change the color here and there when we need to. But basically keep everything. You're going to get nothing. That's because we already got everything printed. So we have to kind of use all this stuff. It's not like it's not like the Super Bowl. We can ship it to Africa and give it to some folks who we got to keep all these shirts. And so that's a wrap.
And the fact that they even positioned it like we're not going to get anything, I personally don't give a fuck what you give us or not. I'm watching the show. Whatever you're servicing you're servicing your character for the audience. You know, it's not about us as individuals. It's about what do you think about the layers to this character? Like Jarek was saying, you know, he cares way more about Chris on Peacemaker because there's layers to Peacemaker. You know, like if Cena got a bum ass script for Peacemaker, I'm sure he'd be like saying, "Hey, where is this crap going?" You know,
Right.
WWE is just not going to do that with right now, and they're paying him a lot of money. I don't even know if Vince McMahon, with all his senile booking in his last few years, I'm not even sure he would have booked something like this. I'm just looking back at his history, and I just don't think Triple H knew how to. Maybe it was just a creative thing. Maybe Triple H didn't know how to stand up to The Rock. Maybe Nick Khan was like, "Hey, this is a favor for The Rock," because The Rock didn't show up either, you know. And it's like, I think the blame could be spread. I think the top people that should take the blame though are the bookers, are going to be Hunter, Nick Khan, and The Rock, you know, because they're booking this stuff. Cena at the end of the day, like he said, hey, he's there to run the plays that they give him to run, you know. So how much can you blame him for that? Because, you know, again, he's not a part of the creative team. That's not his job. His job is to run, and he's doing what he said he was going to do. He said, "Hey, I'm going to be wrestling my last year with the company." Promise fulfilled. That's all he promised, you know. He didn't promise anything grandiose. So I mean,
but I mean, one real quick thought off of Chris's point. I just want to say this real.
Go for it.
I'm not going to speculation. We're going to jump out of speculation. It's just where my brain goes sometimes. Mm-hmm. Would Cena actually just say, "Oh, I don't say no to anything," even though we've seen him say no to stuff in the past?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Would he say no? That's a different regime when he said that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a regime that he has stayed by this entire time. I love that person. I will never stop saying that I love that person. Mm-hmm. What if it's like a, "Hey, I know we all know they still talking." What if it's a, "Hey, you know what? Don't push back." Since he know it all, let him know it all. And if it bomb, it bomb. And if it don't, it don't. And
he was probably at that birthday party too.
He was.
We know he was at that birthday party. So it's true, Seamus. But that. Anyway, so since we already kind of talked and dived onto the Cena match and whatnot, let's just keep going on Wrestlepalooza, and then we'll dive and give all in. It's all out. Excuse me. It's full respect in a second. So when it comes to the Bronson Breakker and the Usos match, how do you all feel about the tag match? The special guest referee of Mr. LA Knight, out there barely refereeing the match and doing a lot of hoo-ha. How did you feel about that? And we're gonna start with Professor Chris. How did that engage you? Did this catch your attention? Was it good to you? How you feel?
It was cool. I don't know about it was cool, but it wasn't anything like spectacular. It wasn't like, to me, that was something they could have easily had did on Raw or SmackDown, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't pay-per-view worthy. All it seemed to do was further the storyline of Jey turning heel, if that's the direction they're going to go, or if they're doing a swerve like Triple H is known to do with these heel turns sometimes, where he's like with the New Day heel turn where it was both of them that turned heel, you know, he does this shit sometimes. So it was fine, but not pay-per-view worthy is my final verdict on that.
All right. I feel that. Ray, how you feel about it, man?
All right. Well, real quick, I just wanted to touch on a point that you had before, Brother Girard. Once you brought up like the Super Bowl winners t-shirts, all I could picture is like some poor kid in Djibouti wearing like a Kentucky Wildcats version of John Cena t-shirt, just walking around. But as far as the match, like, when we were, and you mentioned this, Jay, earlier, they were talking about all these, we're going to bring these surprises and we're going to make this WrestleMania worthy. And like out of nowhere, like they didn't, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see any advertisement before Saturday saying that this was going to be a special guest referee match. And it's like they just threw that in there, tossed poor LA Knight in there, and then, like you said, it ended up being like a no-holds-barred match, too. It ended up being like a hardcore match because he was just like, I'm just counting the pin, or if somebody taps out, I don't see nothing else. And so it was kind of like that was just thrown in there. And then poor Jey hitting himself in the face with the chair. It was like a comedy. It seemed like a comedy of errors. And all those boys was going out there and was working hard. And then it's not like you have any conflict with LA Knight afterwards, because it's like, well, LA Knight didn't speed count. He didn't cheat. He didn't get in the way of anybody, at least from what I could tell. Like, he just counted the pin as he saw it. So, and I know they're trying to play like that tension between him and Jey throughout the night. And then Jey ended up pushing him out the way and taking the spear through the table. So I think it was a decent match, but like you guys said, and kind of to go back to the card as a whole, and I think I mentioned this at the end of our live watch, this whole show was pretty much glorified. Like it seemed more like the first night of Raw on Netflix than it being big, and this was just another example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, what you rocking with, man? And I know you had a point earlier as well, so hey, you want to still throw that out there? Please throw that out there for us.
No, it's been beat to death. I mean, I was just going to say that, Kurt Cobain said, "Here we are now, entertain us," and that's on the writer's room. So, there's that. In terms of the Brown Bronze versus the Usos, with LA Knight being in as the ref, again, it was the theme of this. My whole review of Wrestlepalooza, it was a glorified Raw. I mean, they could have done this on Raw. They could have done it on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. Wasn't PLE worthy to me, in my opinion. Again, everybody, not to disparage any of the workers, they did their thing.
Right? Yeah.
So bad for Jey. They're talking about maybe it was a concussion protocol. Never want to see anybody get hurt. Thankfully, he wasn't hurt as bad as they first anticipated. But again, just another match. Nothing special.
Okay. And to me, I'm just, I keep telling you, we on the path to Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. I'm just going to keep beating that horse.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Y'all wait for the match because it's coming.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's going to happen this year or even the beginning of next year.
You know, I don't know what Roman's plans are for Vegas, but
Ooh.
you know, actually no, he ain't gonna lose because that would be like 3 Manias in a row that he lost, unless he's just feeding it back to the folks for all the Manias he won.
Yeah, the thing that concerns
like that.
the thing that concerns me about the way Roman is talking about doing Hollywood and wrestling at the same time is if he's still doing wrestling, he's not gonna be jobbing to too many people. That's just while he's active on the roster. Like when The Rock was done, I mean, Rock never really cared about jobbing anyway, but when he was on his way out, he had no problem putting over the people that needed to be put over on the way out, you know, like Goldberg and Lesnar, and people like that. That's how The Rock was.
Right.
And if Roman is like talking, if he's tiptoeing out the door of WWE, I don't think there'll be a problem with him putting over guys. But if he's still talking about being active on the roster, I just don't see him doing that, you know.
True.
Towing in my Jordans. Well, we go see if Roman does the favor, like I'm asking, but we go to somebody who actually did the favor on Saturday, and that is Io Sky, blowing my mind. I thought we was going crazy with another title win, but I also completely didn't know we were going champion versus champion. I thought I was told last year that was a Saudi Arabia exclusive, the Crown Jewel Championship, and so you know what, moving forward, I can see why we went with Stephanie Foucault. I think this could have happened at Clash of Paris. But instead, hey, we had it at Wrestlepalooza, and this show needed it because, by God, if it didn't have this, quality-wise, we dropping that card even. To the floor. So, with that, I ate some crow. I had said, hey, I do believe EO's going to win, but hey, Stephanie with a beautiful, I love the man, phenomenal one, and he can't do it no more, but that spiral tap, my God, that spiral tap was a thing of beauty. And their match, I think they went about 19 minutes having that kind of time, being there live in Las Vegas, the T-Mobile Arena, when they did it after the Raw after WrestleMania, and it got interrupted. I was sick to my stomach then to get this, and that's what I've been waiting for this match to be ran back. And this is the run back. And I'm not mad at it. And we even got the mutual respect, the bowing after. I loved it as a star-making moment for Stephanie. I think EO put on a performance, especially with her selling her knees and even the removal of the knee pads and the over the moonsault to hurt those knees. Man, what a match, what a time, what a performance. For the folks who said Stephanie Foucault was going to win this, who wants to speak up first? Because I know there are some people who was definitely on the Stephanie Foucault train. Or am I wrong? Was everybody with EO?
I don't remember what my prediction was.
I can't remember.
I know what mine was. Well, I'll just say I did pick Stephanie Foucault, but through nefarious means on behalf of Asuka.
A win's a win.
But we didn't see that though. And fast forward to Monday Night Raw when we finally did get that turn. But I was surprised that EO lost straight up. And I know you came for me, Girard. I know you came for me. I didn't say she didn't have superstar like qualities. I'm just saying that's not what the company is trying to bring out of her. And with all these people, like if the backstage and the producers keep talking about, oh, well, we can't, if she can't speak English, then we can't make a star. If you can't make a star out of this, like EO has low key been the MVP of this entire year so far. Like low key been the MVP. And I know you put her in there with decent people. Like, of course, she's going to look amazing. But Loki, like Io's always been terrific, and I never disputed that. I only disputed how the company sees her. So, but with that being said, Stephanie McCool really showed out, and this is the only time where I was thinking WWE. They pretty much they stole this right from under AEW. AEW didn't know what they had. They didn't know what they had when they had her go against Mercedes Moné, and she showed out a little bit then, but then WWE was like, you know what, that's a diamond in the rough. Like let me go ahead and snag that. And like you said, that spiral tap, and it was a spiral tap. Nate Milton, even Michael Cole said it, even though you can't trust Michael Cole when he's talking about wrestling moves, but even Michael Cole said it was a spiral tap. I was like, ooh. So that was a tremendous match. Again, surprised that Io took the clean pin, but I think that it continues to build the storyline with her and her falling out with the Kabuki Warriors. And I'm very, very congratulatory of Stephanie McCool. She definitely earned it.
I was just bringing up old history pre-WrestleMania, man. That's all. I remember a discussion we was having on air, and I just said,
Right.
No problem.
The star. You was like, we're going to have to see about that. I don't know. She was spotlight. She been hustling. That's all I was going to say. She been breaking her back this year, and you acknowledge that. So I appreciate that, but I have a theory. Everybody thought Stephanie McCool was injured. I question, did they step her away from the ring and everything to give her some time to keep working on her English? Because of that promo on Monday, I'm like, she still seems just as solid, if not even a little bit better than she was at Evolution. So maybe they said, hey, we know we got to put the title on you. We got to give you a big push. Go ahead, hit them classes, hit them books, 2 days, and then we're going to take you off the ring for a little bit, do some live shows and whatnot, but go ahead and do some work on your English and then come on back, and then belts on you.
Right, yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
How long? Like you got a 2-week crash course to get better in English.
She's already hustling. Maybe they had her in the accelerator one. Hey, they got
do it like you said. That Duolingo.
They got some classes out there. So, but Jay, how did you feel about this match, man?
Man, you alluded to it. I mean, the night after WrestleMania when they had their match, I mean, they gave us a little bit of a preview of what to expect down the road, and then Wrestlepalooza again. This was the saving grace for that show to me, because that was the best match of the show.
Yes.
I don't know. I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that she got the clean win. I can't remember if I thought Bakura was going to win or Io Sky, but I was just hoping for a good match, and they delivered. I mean, I'm not disappointed at all. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens, what the story they're going to tell with Bakura going forward. We know Io Sky's got the Kabuki Warriors now, and she's going to be teaming up with Rhea Ripley, and I'm just very curious to see how those two storylines, they separate and how they'll eventually intertwine and come back together again, because Rhea Ripley's going to be going after that title at some point. Io Sky is going to be going after that title at some point. Asuka is still a major player, so you still got Bianca, who's still on the sidelines. Maybe we don't know what's going to happen in the future, and I'm just very curious to see exactly how this all plays out. But again, it was a great match. I won't say great; it's a very good match. But yeah, I was very happy with the outcome. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
Right. Okay. Yeah,
Chris.
Yeah, this match brought the show from a D- to a solid D for me. I thought
you're such a tough grader, Professor.
Well, I'm just the match was good. I've seen Stephanie McCool and Io have better matches, so it wasn't the greatest match on the planet. I will say this, Ray. I don't think AEW didn't see the value in Stephanie. I think WWE just offered her a greener bag, That's where she went. Because, she was a free agent, If I was AEW, I wouldn't have had her wrestling Mercedes as a free agent, but that was a choice they made, and WWE saw she was a free agent and it was like, yo, this is what we got for you, and took her away. That's capitalism. That's free market enterprise. So, but what I will say though is I think like this match was good, but it was surrounded by a bunch of like nothingness. And when I say nothingness, I'm just talking about stuff that was just kind of there, like you guys said earlier, you don't want to disrespect the talent, because I mean they did their job, but I don't think the creative that they had to work with on this show was up to snuff. And maybe it was nervousness, maybe it was nerves being on ESPN, the app for the first time, not ESPN, the channel. Got to make that clear. They were on the ESPN app, but it was a big deal.
But not ESPN Plus. Don't get that confused.
Yeah, exactly. And because I have ESPN Plus too. So, but yeah, it's one of those things where I can forgive this show for being the nothingness it was if the next ESPN show is better, But in this match right here, although I liked it, it's not gonna push it up to even a C- for me. I just can't do that.
Tough grader. Tough.
And you know what I think could have improved this show? I think the main event. If the main event could have been something bigger, could have been something better. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, we've seen the rumors online that both of them, we see what both people going in AEW does for the Continental Classic. We see them saying, hey, or not the Continental Classic, but the Owen, hey, I want him to win. I want him to win. We see that over here now. Hey, I want Drew. Let Randy come out and just cost me the title, and Drew can take the title, and let him win. And no, we go with the basic dry. The referee cost it. And I see how we're going to go. Drew's going to be very upset that, oh my God, Cody, you were going to give me a clean match, and then you bought the referee. The referee stood in the way and saved you, and it cost me the match, and da-da-da-da-da. Cool, whatever. I think we go the expedient and long route to this, where I think if we don't really get the Edge thing to actually happen, I think Drew being the last opponent can work. Drew following Cody and going in. Yes, because Drew killed Cena to get back at Cody. One of Cody's mentors, his people, and somebody that he has had John Cena's name in his mouth this entire year, even though he's not gotten close to him. It has to be for a reason. I've been thinking, I thought, okay, maybe Braun Breaker, but I don't think Braun Breaker in the old timeline, pre-Mania, I thought Braun Breaker. I don't think that anymore. I think he's just kind of way too off in his own. If we could have teased something more exciting at the end of this show, leading to the next era, leading to something, maybe not a title change. We could see on the other show, we didn't need a title change to have an exciting main event and close to the show. But we needed something more for this to be a palooza. We was just wrestling. It was just wrestling. There wasn't no palooza actually to it. So what was the ending note? Chamber was a palooza. You could have called that Wrestlepalooza and goes back. The women's chamber was fire. It's 2 punches right there. Okay, we had an okay tag match with Tiffany and Trish. Okay. Cool. But the men's chamber, bow. The Sammy and KO match, bow. And then a heel turn to like shock you and then think you were, that's a palooza. What came from this show? And what could have been? Anybody got thoughts on the main event?
Here's the thing with Drew McIntyre. He's just kind of been the victim of a lot of like unfortunate circumstances. Like his run was supposed to be when he was the guy that to throw Lesnar out of the Royal Rumble. And he won. And the unfortunate part about that is it was during the pandemic. And even during the pandemic, the most overact during the pandemic was the Hurt Business, you know. And by the time you got to WrestleMania, it really made no sense having Lashley to lose to Drew McIntyre because Lashley had usurped him at that time. And Lashley was in the Hurt Business. They were proven to be draws. They had the ratings. They had all the stuff. And by the time they're trying to get back ready for Drew McIntyre, but he's kind of got this stigma on him. And the draw right now is Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes has no business losing to Drew McIntyre unless it's a way to set Drew McIntyre up to be the next A-lister on the roster. But I don't think fans want him over Cody at the moment. I think Cody, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, they are just made men in WWE right now. Though that's the trifecta in WWE. In AEW, it's Hangman, Swerve, and Ospreay. And it's Drew. I think his best position is probably the one he's in right now, where he's never gonna be M. Bison. He'll be Balrog. He'll be the guys that you beat before you get to Bison.
But Sagat. He's a good guy. Good Sagat.
Yeah. He's not good. Yeah. He's not gonna be that. He'll be Kintaro or Goro or something.
Maybe
before you get to the main boss. That's what Drew is right now. I'm not saying he can never move past that, but I just think that when you're in WWE for such a long time, you start developing a reputation for yourself amongst the people that book the show. And I think Drew McIntyre has not moved past he's a good hand. I think he's a reliable good hand. I don't think they want him in a main as the main face. That's just not what they see for this guy at the moment.
And that's the thing too, real quick. I wanted to touch on that. And it's funny, or it's interesting rather, how you can see the contrast, like you were saying earlier, Chris, how you can see the contrast between Cena, he's just there. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But then on the other end, you see Drew McIntyre putting in that passion, and he's cutting promos, and you don't know if it's fully a shoot or if it's fully a work, but he's up there, he's showing his frustration, and he's saying, I want to be the main dog. But like you said, they already have him typecast as, oh, you're a good dude. You're a good number 2 guy that could boost up our number 1 guy, but you're not the guy in our eyes. So I could totally see that.
So Jay, how about you, man?
I would like to see Drew McIntyre, really have a run, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a number 2 guy or a mid-carder, right? There's nothing wrong with that. You got a steady gig.
Put some respect on it.
You got a steady gig. I mean, not everybody is going to be an Andre the Giant. There has to be a Big John Studd. Nothing wrong with that. Not everybody can be a Stone Cold or a Triple H or The Rock. I mean, there are Booker T's out there. There are other main cast players out there to fill those roles. I would like to see Drew McIntyre, go up a notch, but I just think it's so crowded at the top.
Yeah.
I just don't see him moving and breaking past that, because he's got a good resume on him. He's got I think a Hall of Fame resume, but there's still Randy Orton out there. There's still a Cody Rhodes out there. There's still, all these other people that he's not going to break through. I didn't even mention Roman Reigns. He's just not going to get past those guys because they're ahead of him. I would like to see him break through though at some point, and maybe it'll happen. I don't know. Maybe it will. But if it doesn't, it just is what it is.
Yeah, and and also it depends on like if Drew sees himself in a bigger light than what he is. If Drew's happy in his position, then he'll just keep riding the waves of his position. If he sees himself as a bigger act, he'll express his frustration, and maybe they will pull the trigger on him, or maybe they'll say, "Look, you're better suited in AEW or something like that." But I think a lot of this is going to depend on what he's, and this is just wrestling in general. It's what the talent sees for themselves, like Steve Austin. He always saw himself bigger than jobbing the hacksaw Jim Duggan, that was just not a role he was going to be happy with. And, when he got to WWE, he got the chances to position himself in a better situation. And that happens with talent sometimes. Sometimes, talent like Cody Rhodes, for example. Cody Rhodes is a perfect example of this. Yeah. And Drew McIntyre is this example of it to a certain extent because he did the same thing Cody did. He didn't quit. He got fired. But when he got fired, he made himself into something bigger than 3MB. But he's unlike Cody. Cody broke past all that shit, man. Cody is a made man wherever he goes. Drew McIntyre is still, unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, has to prove himself.
Not Drew number two. Drew number two. No, poor Drew. Well, we gonna hope Brother Drew ascends to that next level, but hey, it's always nice to still have a job.
Jobby job.
But with that said, we gonna move on to All Out. And how to do All Out is
Brother Girard, hold up, brother. I think you might have missed something. I think we might have touched on something, and it's ironic that you go in this order because there's a match that we missed out on, which I thought should have been the main event of Wrestlepalooza, and that's the mixed tag match, brother. I think we might have glanced over a little bit, but yes, with CM Punk and AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins.
Well, for anybody who has anything remaining to cover, because I know Jay did cover his point about this match not happening and this actually being the debut of AJ. But
right.
Chris,
yeah,
right?
I said what I had to say about this. Yeah. It was what it was. AJ. Hopefully, she gets a second chance to do something big.
Yeah, and I'll be quick with it. I thought it should have been the main event. I thought it was decent, as Chris said. I thought it was serviceable. I thought it went on a little too long. But they were squabbling out there. I like how they mixed in the men and the women. They were putting each other as sharpshooters and stuff. I thought they were gonna tease Punk getting the GTS on Becky because Becky took the I'm about to call it the black hole stop, the end of days. So I'm thinking she down, she hood, she gangster, she could take a GTS. So but I thought it was a decent match. As far as on the point of debuting at Wrestlepalooza, I think you wouldn't have got. I don't think even in that stadium in Indianapolis, I don't think you would have gotten, or the arena in Indianapolis, I don't think you would have gotten the pop that you did in Chicago. I don't think. I think maybe it might have been close. I think they just wanted to go ahead and tease it, and we talked about it as well. Have the put the last dance, or the first dance tease on it. Be like, we not saying she gonna be here, but we're not saying she not gonna be here. And so, I think they want to work that up. They wanted to work that up. I think it should have been the main event. I think that would have been worthy of the Palooza part. I think, and again, we didn't get any surprises, like crazy surprises out of it. But I think that would have been a good match to kind of end off on instead of like a slight whimper with that WWE title match.
And for me, I would just say this match was one of my two. I'll say a spot I really enjoyed was the fact that when they nuzzled out of the GTS spot and Becky then threw AJ into Punk to save Seth. That was a table bump to take because that was an interesting one, watching that fall for everybody involved. But two, I don't know. I was like, hey, I like a little scrappy spot. That looks scrappy. So hey, that's innovative. Using your opponent to save your husband. I see what you're doing over here. I'm picking up what y'all putting down. But that was one of my two matches that saved this show because outside of that, I was kind of good on this. I've started my viewing experience watching Wrestlepalooza because I wanted to say the AEW show for last. I got home, and also for me, VPN right on over to Canada. Said,
Heard that.
right on to Netflix.
Thank you, Stephanie McMahon. Thank you. That's one thing I think you in the money saving Hall of Fame. Even if I don't think you should go in the WWE Hall of Fame, you in the money saving Hall of Fame.
I would say thank you, Stephanie, but I'll say. Thank you, John. Thank you, Way. Post wrestling at NordVPN, post wrestling. Go ahead and get that. But now we're gonna move to All Out, and how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna go down and run a little quick recap, and then I want to hear what you all thought were the biggest highlights for you all for the whole show. And so we gonna run from the top to the bottom. And if I can get my mouse onto the right page, it will.
And real quick, I'm glad you're doing it that way because we were able to do match by match with Wrestlepalooza. I don't think we're doing that.
Until tomorrow.
We got Cope and Christian, Cage and Cope winning against FTR, but Beth Phoenix making her Beth Copeland, making her come out to deal with Stokely, Mr. No-Hose himself, getting carried off. But then gets power drived after, gets attacked, and now we don't know. Edge doesn't know. Cope does not know. He has to go be with family at this point. And Cope said, Acacia said, I don't have any family. But Cope said, you do have family. They dapped up, and he went on into the sunset. We had Bobby Lashley. We had the Hurt Syndicate. Putting over the Demand, giving them a win, even though it was MVP getting dapped up and jumped up at the end. We'll hear people's thoughts if they have any thoughts about that later on. Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
No surprise. She has taken out another former women's champion at All Out. Boom. We got Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. And Darby sleeping out here because we got a man in a black tee. Haircut. What he say? Oh, that's the man. The bastard.
One thing about that match, I got to jump in on this one because when I saw everything that you guys saw, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Austin Aries is back. It wasn't Austin Aries. It was Pac. I really thought he looked to me like I thought it was Austin Aries. I mean, I was like, oh, okay, cool, but I digress.
I'll say out of a time machine for sure. Because here's the thing: I saw Austin Aries last year at my local indie, 20 minutes down the road, and this man looked totally different. I didn't know who that was because he said his name. He was like, "It's me." He popped up on the screen. I'm looking at my friends. I'm like, they look at me. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Who that? Who? It's me, Austin Aries, the greatest man who ever lived. I was like, oh wow, your hair. Oh, okay.
Oh,
doing something different. I see.
Did he grow it out or did he shave it?
It was long and gray. I was like, ooh, you look long.
Oh, so he's going to Pac now?
I know it's a reverse. It's a reverse.
But no, Moxley wins that match, puts Darby in the casket, and we had the Pac return to supporting that as well. Briscoe and MJF tacked in tables. Briscoe finally does it for his son and shows his son
Finally.
that I can actually get this win and dub out here. Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Tekla Fatal 4-Way Women's World Championship. We got a new Women's World Champion, y'all, with a seatbelt pin, a beautiful pin on Tony Storm for Chris Statlander to get that dub. We got the man in the Timbs stumping it out, said, "Hey, yo, Kingston, where you at?" Eddie Kingston making his return, kind of missing a couple of shots, but getting the dub. Anyway, we happy to see you back, brother Kingston.
Yeah.
Come on back. Kazuchika Okada, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mascara Dorada. And to me, my match of the show. What a fun triple threat. Hey, sorry, Beast Mortos, you couldn't make it to this one, man, because this was a show to put on. What a time to be alive. Okada retains over Dorada. Bandito and King with the Bucks with Hechicero and oh my goodness, I cannot see his name. Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander, yeah.
And Jet Speed, Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight in a 4-way ladder match for the tag titles. Chaos galore. People falling through ladders, people doing people knees looking like they hurting, going through some backflips off of ladders on the ladders. Different spots, backflipping with ladders, but the champions retain. My most hated enemy of all time, Jack Perry, has made his return for a moment. And then he went back to his old ways, and I said, arms waving in the room and whatnot. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to groove back, and you might be bringing me back on your side because Luchasaurus came back. You've been teasing through the vignettes. Well, Jungle Express, they have reunited, and now they are back at it again, and probably going to be facing against the Bucks. So, an old AEW feud that they actually won the tag team titles off of back in the day. I do believe so. They're running that back to revisit that history, and then to kick it off. Lastly, Adam Page, Kyle Fletcher. We building for the future. The Proto Star did not get it done, but did a show and put his body on the line for all of our entertainment and a spectacle. So, hey, what were your biggest highlights, folks? We're going to go Jay, Ray, Chris, and then I'll wrap it up. Jay, what you feeling, man?
I mean, it was a good show. I mean, I was thoroughly surprised that Chris Statlander used Wheeler Yuta's move to get the title off of Tony Storm. I didn't see that coming, but it was, again, one of those moments I was like genuinely surprised and genuinely happy for Chris Statlander because she's an AEW original and, homegrown. So, to see them, work for so hard and so long to get the title, really happy for her. The Jurassic Express reunion, didn't expect that, but again, I'll give it some time. I'm kind of indifferent to it, so it's like, he's back. I'm glad the Kill Switch character is, done, and Luchasaurus is back. So we'll see what happens with that. To the main, the triple threat with Okada, Takeshita, and Dorado. My gosh, I mean, I knew Dorado was good, but they gave him a lot. They gave him a lot, and he shined. I mean, he made the most of his opportunities. So, if anyone complains about not having an opportunity and they get one, that's how you take it. You just go with it, and he did his thing. So I'm a Dorado fan for that. And then to round it off with the main event with Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher, I was thinking this was going to be the match of the weekend. It was really, really good. And I'm glad to see that they've got some new blood in the title picture because, I mean, you just don't want to feed the same old. If this is all elite wrestling by name, then you should have those, those superstars or those performers at an elite level performing on the elite stage. And I'm glad they were able to showcase that and demonstrate that, hey, we got some hitters in the chamber just in case, we need to switch the title up. We got some other players that can be credible. So, again, all in all, I think it was a good pay-per-view. It was a lot better than the competition, and I'm glad that, especially like Chris, for me, West Coast, bro. I was able to watch it in real time. I still would have had time to do some other stuff, bro. So I'm happy.
Right.
Even Tony Khan's contemplating on earlier start time. So kudos to him for that. So, thank you.
Yeah. I think a happy medium for me would be 5 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. on the West Coast, because noon is a little early for me, I know 2 would be early for some of my folks too, because they got kids that they play basketball and baseball and all that shit. But I'd be happy with 2, and when I get kids, hopefully I get a daughter soon, she'll be playing her sports at 10 a.m. and all that shit.
Hold on. Are we breaking news, brother? You said soon.
Oh no.
Are we breaking news? Okay.
No, we're not breaking. Like, no, if I was to have one kid, I'd rather it be a daughter, not for some sexist bullshit reason. Women do more things than are more reliable than men. Not because of anything like that. Is just that's the reason why I'd want a daughter.
That's your preference, bro. You ain't gotta explain yourself. You good?
Yeah, but everyone that's got daughters tells me that. So
I hear you, man.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I think Ali Sadiq has a bit with that. He's like my oldest daughter I could give my credit card to, but my oldest son I wouldn't give. Give my credit card.
Yeah, that's my nieces and nephews right there too. I love my nephews too.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and chime in. I thought similarly to you guys, all the highlights. Now, full transparency, I was all the way up to the only 2 matches that I didn't get to see were the ladder match and the main event. So I tuned into everything else. Like I said, I was kind of busy towards the beginning. I had my nephew with me, and for all those people, like brother Chris, you said some people, they can't do it early. Boy, put that thing on your phone while you watch your kids. Like I know, right? I had it on my phone, and my little nephew was playing in the playground with no socks on. He was good. Yeah, I thought first off, while it's still on my mind, like that coffin match, of course, your boy John Moxley gonna bleed buckets. But I think they did it in a way to where you said, especially with the post match, to where Darby is still credible. Like I love like after they slayed Darby and locked him in the coffin, like they had the faux funeral procession and them just carrying out. I was like, you sick mother. Ooh. And so that just made me hate him more. But again, at least I'm not hating them for a bad reason, like the X-Pac heat when John Moxley had the belt. Now you're still doing unique stuff with them, and he's not like hijacking the belt, but he's still doing unique stuff. And then this man, John Moxley, I don't know how much they pay that man. They need to, it's like a LeBron situation. No matter how much you pay that man, you're not paying enough. You said, first off, this man took a bump on Spike when he wrestled against Adam Copeland. Then this Bama locked in a body bag and set on fire. You can't pay me enough, man. You cannot pay me enough. But and that'll get into one of my big threes when we talk about it as well too. But just a little slight tease. But that I thought the MJF Briscoe match was great. Like you mentioned, Girard, the chicken, Suffolk County chicken, finally getting a dub, finally getting some redemption, some retaliation, if you will, against MJF, and that was good to see. But it was crazy. Like that man was littered with tax, bro. Littered with tax.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous. And then putting tax in the man's mouth, and I was like, oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And like you guys mentioned, Triple Threat was awesome. That one I was kind of glancing back and forth between, but I just knew those kids with those cats was balling. Like you already know what Okada's capable of. You already know what Takeshita is capable of. And like you mentioned, Jay, let's say Dorado stepping up when it mattered the most. Even though he took the pin, he showed what he could do. So it was good to see that. Girard, you mentioned the Hurt Business. I mentioned MVP taking the fall. So I think, but you can kind of look at it towards like it wasn't as though he wasn't taking a step down, or it wasn't like he was behind a step. He just got overwhelmed, like Shelton and Lashley got taken out, and it's kind of like 3 against 1, and so it's only so much you can do, especially with him being as seasoned, but still like kind of suffering, or not suffering, but still playing to the injuries that he's had in the past. So, but that was a decent match as well. So yeah, all in all, I thought it was a terrific card.
Okay. Professor Chris, any last points and anything you want to touch on about All Out?
Yeah. So I got my notes up here, so I'm just gonna go through some stuff real quick. The Ops, it was good seeing them on the show. You know, AEW it's always unfortunate sometimes with those shows because not everybody's gonna be on the main show. Their roster's just too loaded for that. Daniel Garcia, I could skip that. Hologram and Paragon, that was cool. I like that portion. And then Haley Cameron, I could skip that. That's all the pre-show stuff.
Yeah. And real quick, you mentioned Paragon. I thought we were going to see the return of Orange Cassidy, but they just saved it for Dynamite, which I don't know why, but that was
and they even teased it on the pay-per-view that Orange Cassidy was going to be on Dynamite. They didn't explicitly say it, but they teased it. So,
right.
The Adam Copeland and Christian stuff, that was a cool little match. It was great seeing Beth Copeland come out. That was cool. The Eddie Kingston stuff was probably my low point of the show. Although he could charge that to the game. He had the ring rust. He's not a spring chicken anymore. So I expect him to be better next time I see him wrestle on TV. So again, charge that one to the game. Mark Briscoe defeating MJF. That was a highlight for me because I like I said on the show we did a couple Sundays ago, eventually you gotta win matches, and I just didn't want to see Briscoe lose to MJF for the umpteenth time, so I was happy with that.
Same.
Yeah, and then the Demand, that was cool too. I saw my homies John and Way. They weren't really high on the Hurt Syndicate in the Demand match. And I actually beg to differ. This was actually one of my more favorite Hurt Syndicate pay-per-view outings that they've done. I thought that there was a lot of good stuff in the match. I liked MVP in the match, so that was a highlight for me as well. Mercedes, of course, and I also want to give a shout out to Riho because when I saw her wrestle on that Wednesday Dynamite, I forget which week it was, she really didn't look. She really looked out of sorts, and she had a little bit of the ring rust. In this Mercedes match, she was hitting on all cylinders. So shout out to Riho, AEW original, first AEW Women's World Champion. And then our Okada match and Takeshita and Mascarada Dorada. That was a great match. It wasn't my match of the night, but it was close. It was really, really good. A lot of foreshadowing in that match. Moxley and Darby Allin. Here's my thing with this. I do have to speak on this for a second. The match was good. I didn't understand the follow-up on Wednesday because if you're going to beat Darby Allin for the 700th time, okay, fine. Why is Darby Allin just like coming back on Wednesday? And he did come back later on in the show too, but like he's not selling any of the effects of that match. You know, it's just like
elevation training.
Yeah, it's exactly right. So that's just a pet peeve of mine with AEW sometimes. Chris Statlander, I did like that because at first I didn't like that with the Chris Statlander winning and Tony Storm losing in a 4-way match. But I do appreciate the story that they're telling, or at least I think they're telling, because Tony Storm asked for that match. She asked for all those women in the match, and she got the match, and she lost the match. And like sitting back, at first I didn't like it, but then as an outsider looking in and re-examining it again with different eyes, I think that was a good move. And like you guys said, Statlander is an original, so that was cool. Brodito, that was a cool match with the Bucks. You know, it was fine. I don't have a lot to say about that one. And then the Hangman and Kyle Fletcher match was an excellent match. Kyle Fletcher, he's not ready yet, but he is being groomed to be ready, right? And I think this is what's missing from WWE at the moment with their next in line guys, right? I think Braun Breaker would benefit from a match like this with a Cody Rhodes or with a Roman Reigns, where he doesn't necessarily win the match, but it's a great match that shows you this guy is coming. And that's what I loved about this Kyle Fletcher match with Adam Page, is it was an excellent match. And then it also shows you, like, I wouldn't have been upset if Kyle Fletcher won, but it shows you what's awaiting the main event scene in a few months or so. And that was like really, really good. And I think that WWE could benefit by learning, like by doing that with some of their up and coming guys, because I don't really think they're doing that at the moment. So and also I thought this was a great pay-per-view showing by AEW. Not the best pay-per-view of the year, but it was good. It's standard AEW fare. The bar is set so high in AEW. Even when the TV isn't great, you expect the pay-per-views to be at least good, and this one was. So it cleared that bar, and I was happy with it.
And for me, this was my Sunday morning with my breakfast. I sat down to watch this show, and my God, what a time to enjoy myself watching wrestling. To me, Ricochet, I'm a equate Ricochet to a stock.
Yeah,
you don't always like keep looking at it because it's not going to grow right away.
Right.
But I keep checking back in, and to me, this demand win and him being able to push his board forward, I like that as a concept of growing Ricochet, because I think he's one of our future picks and one of our future entities and stars that are going to grow and carry the brand forward. So we're growing him with his faction. You got Kyle Fletcher in the main event, doing his thing, putting his body on the line, putting out a performance. You don't want your mid-card champions to lose, but if they're going to lose, that's how they should lose. Against the world champion in a top card match like that. Now, Kyle's already back and out there and starting to pick fights with folks. He's like, one by one, I want Killer Kyle out there going crazy, snapping people one by one, winning matches, and defending that TNT championship. Put some respect on that belt and say his full name. But to me, Chris Statlander being able to step it up a level and being able to win that Fatal 4-Way match, not only because of just that Wheeler Yuta thing, but if you go back to at World's End last year when she faced Mercedes Moné in a TBS title championship match, that's round 2, she was pinned by that same style seat belt that she then used, learning from her losses, taking them L's, and turn them into a W. And so I'm happy with that. Love to see Chris Statlander growing. Though she gave the birds to John and same John Moxley style and dipped off with the title on Wednesday, I'm hoping that's not it. And I hope she actually does join the Death Riders, because if we're going to keep this thing going, let's make it a little more interesting. And let's have the Women's World Championship. Let's add a little bit more to her. Let's give her some more of that intensity, that hate. Because to me, when Chris Statlander's got that hate in her heart and that hate in her eyes, man, she's a beast out there. So congrats to her. I like what I saw with that. Briscoe, like I said, I'm happy for your son, man. Moving on. With that, Darby, I hope you can win a casket match once again. I know you got the coffin drop, but you really are dropping that coffin every time you get into one of these matches, man. You need the Sting to help you or something. I don't know what's going on with you and your coffin record, but and now we setting people on fire. Yeah, I guess he's the Terminator. Like I said, the Elevation training. They talked about Elevation Kane and UFC. I guess it's Elevation Allen. Hey man, this man going crazy out there. And he came back from the mountain. So hey ho, do his thing. And to me, I'm really I didn't think I was gonna like Okada winning that belt in Texas, but to see that triple threat and to see this Takeshita storyline going on, I'm loving it, and I'm loving this babyface Takeshita that we're building towards. So that to me, that's why that's a highlight for me. That's to me one of the top moments off the show. And I already told you how I felt about Jack Perry. Don't like the man.
Oh yeah,
like scapegoat stuff. But hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cool with it. Let's rock. I'm raising my arms. Get on top of him. Do your splash. Do the I forgot the snare trap. Yeah, do all of it. We back at it. And now you got an improved voice. I want to see you build a character I can actually believe in now. So here's to you, Jack Perry. I'm moving in good faith. Do not disappoint me. And that's all for you.
All right. But I do want to say this about the Jack Perry thing. He's in a do no harm position, right? Because his heel turn, I think people were expecting, because usually when you hit a heel turn, especially when you were a corny babyface at first, the heel turn is where you're able to show your personality. This is what happened with Shawn Michaels, Rocky Maivia, people like that, where they're corny. Randy Orton too. They come in as corny faces, but then when they get the heel turn, you start seeing the edge to them, and that just didn't happen with Jack Perry. So I think the safest bet right now is to just run it back, do the have the Baltimore music come out and do that shit. He's in a I don't see what damage or harm he could do in this position. So I'm cool with it.
And real quick, I just wanted to touch on real quick. I love the little storytelling that they did with it, because if you guys notice when they kind of do, I don't know if you guys saw the movie Weapons. But
not yet.
No spoilers. But no spoilers. But They kind of, and I think this was kind of alluded to. It wasn't alluded to in the trailers, but they were kind of talking about it in interviews. So it tells stories from different points of view. So it was kind of like you saw something in one point of view that you didn't get a chance to see in another point of view. And that was similar to what we got when Luchasaurus or when Killswitch initially returned. He was in the hospital bed, rose up, ripped it off, fade to black, right? Didn't see anything else in the room. Then when we cut to Jack Perry coming back, lights go out when they're about to do the BTE trigger. Then you see, oh, you didn't get this perspective when doggone Jack Perry, he was behind it the whole time to resurrect his friend. So I kind of like the little bit of storytelling that they did. They stole from Zach Eggers. Zach Eggers, they owe you money, brother.
I'm not mad at it. So, well, hey, we go see how they run. They running it back. Like I said, a little AEW history's past few. We gonna see how they run that back in the future at the next pay-per-view, probably at Wrestle Dream, which we'll probably cover at the next Ring Theory. So, but a new segment that we want to kick off on Ring Theory, and it's gonna be a real light version of what we're going to do, is called Uncrowned, where we want to just think and talk about this week. We're going to pick one person and highlight it across all of us of why we think this person is uncrowned. But somebody who should have been a world champion, somebody who should have had the opportunity to have the ball and run with it, if you will. And so for this week, we are talking about a part of the Hurt Syndicate, Mr. The Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin Shelton? Benjamin Shelton? No. We don't let that rest. We don't move on. But yes, Shelton Benjamin is our choice this year. But not this year. Oof. This episode for Uncrowned. And so, a man who has been an IC champion multiple times, a US champion multiple times, a tag champion across multiple companies and multiple continents. This man has done it all in his career besides be a world champion. And that's something that has gone way. He's got to be the highlight man. He gets to steal your attention in a ladder match. He's good enough for that. But as a kid watching him back in the day, I was like, oh man, him and Bobby Lashley. I got Shelton on Raw. I got Bobby on SmackDown. We gonna get world champ. We out here, y'all. We making it, y'all. We go. Wait, is that Shelton Mama?
Yeah, Shelton Mammy.
Why are we doing this? This don't feel right. Shelton should have had multiple opportunities, whether it's having a manager with him, whether it's having. We had ECW there. Why couldn't we give him a test run there? If he's going to be the gold standard, let him have some gold, some true gold, and show you what he can actually do with it.
Yeah.
My vote is Shelton Benjamin. He should have been a world champion. He should have held that big gold. If Triple H can put his shoulders on the mat two times for Shelton Benjamin, you could also give this man an opportunity to be a champion. You gave Randy a month. Why couldn't Shelton even have a month to show you what he could do with big gold? Ed showed you what he could do with a month with big gold. Well, Spinner Belt WWE, but this man didn't even get his foot in the door. This man should have had his foot in the door a long time ago. Shelton Benjamin. Jay, how you feeling about this?
I 100% agree with you. I mean, when he came out, they said that he was training with Brock Lesnar, and he may not have the size of a Brock Lesnar, but his athletic ability was undeniable. He was scaling up ladders like effortlessly during some of those Money in the Bank matches. The way he springboarded across the ring and caught that sweet chin music was super athletic. They still show that highlight even though he's in another competing company. That's how impressive he is, right? And he may have not had the mouthpiece behind him, but I think they could have at least given him a test run. And I will disagree with you a little bit on this one, Girard. You said, he's the gold standard. Why not put him in ECW? He's the gold standard. ECW, when they had it, that belt was silver. at best.
All right.
You know, so he would have to dye his hair gray or, you know, platinum or something like that. And then lie to us and say, I'm the platinum standard. You know what I mean? But I see your vision, right? But to be said, I mean, he should have already had at least one world championship run, and it's a shame that he hasn't yet. Hopefully, you know, Tony Khan can, you know, make something happen with him, but he deserves at least one crack at the AEW World Championship while he's under contract over there.
I'll say, you make a valid point of this man running up ladders. This man invented game mechanics for these people to sell video games off of. Because I remember when they put that ladder mechanic in where you could put it and lean it against the ladder, which became a thing for games and games and games in the future. Nobody prior to me that I've seen on national television prior to Shelton Benjamin did it.
Right.
But yet we're not giving this man his fair due, truly. So, great point. How about you, Ray?
Yeah, I side with you guys. Definitely think he's uncrowned. And it's similar to what we were talking about with Drew McIntyre, where you just see you as a good hand, don't see you as getting out of that bubble. We can see you elevating guys. And that's interesting that you brought up him beating Triple H 2 times, Girard, because that's 2 more times than Booker T did. Yeah, well, but we won't get into that. Yeah, I believe it. All the highlights that you guys mentioned, like you mentioned, not only just any Money in the Banks, the first Money in the Bank, and I think that wouldn't have been a concept in part that would have continued if it wasn't for Shelton Benjamin and for just the amazing athleticism that he was displaying in that match. Like you mentioned, people still talk about hopping off the ropes and getting the sweet chin music. Like there's still Chris Van Vliet just had an interview with Shawn Michaels, still talking about
I saw that, yeah.
Like 20 years later. It's similar to Evan Bourne doing the shooting star press into the RKO. Like people are going to be talking about that for like decades as far as that particular move. But again, he came in like people could have seen him as being on his own, but now we'll drop you in with this team with Angle. And then it was like, once he got out from Angle, it was like, you can stick around with the world's greatest tag team with Charlie Hawes. And then we just see you as a tag team guy. And like you guys mentioned, once he got out of that and tried to get string out on his own, we going to bring in your mama. And shout out to Thea Vidal. You a legend, miss. You a legend. But it just shouldn't have worked that way. And I think that the people didn't, the people in charge back then, they just didn't see it in him. But I think even now it's like you're still now kind of slotting them in. And I think people continue to not see it in him. Like when he went off to Japan, like he was a beast even before he came back to WWE the first time or the second time rather, and kind of meshed together with MVP and with Bobby Lashley in order to make the Hurt Business along with Cedric Alexander. Like before then, he was out in Japan. He was doing his thing. He wasn't like the guy, but he was showing that he could still wrestle on a high level in singles competition. He won a couple belts here and there, I believe in All Japan. So I think that people still, and don't give me all this stuff about, he can't talk. Like the brother has charisma, especially we seen it with him in AEW when he first returned, like just giving like snide remarks on the side. It's just like, especially with MJF trying to join the Hurt Business, like the initial part of that, and like him just staring at the women when he brought out the women, or him looking at the watch. So I think he has the charisma in there. He has the pet personality in there. It's just, how are you going to get him, or how are you going to highlight that and get that to flourish throughout like a program or throughout an angle. So I think that's pretty much been the biggest mark against him. But I think especially later on in his career, he's continued to show that he can turn it on when he needs to.
Okay. And Ray? Not Ray. Chris?
Yep.
Yeah, Shelton Benjamin. I think Shelton Benjamin, if we were going to ever play the so-called race card with any wrestler, it's apt to play that with Shelton Benjamin, man, because this brother, he's often considered to be one of the members of the greatest WWE class of all time. With Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Dave Bautista, Shelton Benjamin, and John Cena. And it's just crazy that the other four were able to rise to that level, and Shelton Benjamin, for whatever reason, never really got to.
Yeah, I wonder what's different about him than the other four.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, because him and Randy Orton were pretty much neck and neck as far as on the same level with each other. And I think Randy Orton was given, even when they were saying he was a troublemaker, he was given chance after chance, and Shelton Benjamin just wasn't given that. He did win the world title in Puerto Rico. Some people count that, some people don't. I don't really, only because he deserves to win the world title in a North American company. I will say that in 2005 is an indictment on WWE, in my opinion, because in 2005 he had hands down the two best matches of the year in wrestling. You can, and it's not even an argument that he had the two best matches of the year in WWE, but his match with Kurt Angle on Raw and his match with Shawn Michaels on Raw. Those were the matches of that year. And if you have something else, at me, but I dare I say those were the best matches in that show. I think with Shelton Benjamin, he's a victim of Vince McMahon and the bookers not being able to take down their racial blind spots for a guy. I think with like a guy like Booker T, Booker T was able to be understood doing the King Booker thing, and it was slightly a caricature, a little bit of shucking and jiving in it, not like to an extreme extent, but a little bit. Same with like Mark Henry. You could put Booker T in a black stereotype, and Mark Henry, when he was world champion, you could put him in a black stereotype because he was just a tough, big black guy that beat the fuck out of everybody. And I think Vince McMahon was able to understand that. And with Bobby Lashley, he was not a stereotype, but he's almost like, I almost kind of grade him like I grade The Rock, because when people point to The Rock being the first black WWE champion, I don't count The Rock, and it's not because he's half Samoan. I think black is black, right? I don't count The Rock because I think that's an unfair bar. It's like The Rock is way better than everybody. So it's like, The Rock's charisma was so off the chart that it couldn't even be contained in WWE. So that used to be the standard for black wrestlers, and not everybody's going to be like The Rock. And I think Bobby Lashley kind of falls into that category as well, because how many people with a body like Bobby Lashley and just the raw kind of amateur abilities of him. Like in WWE, for the longest time in that company, if you were black, you cannot afford to be average, or not even average as in just like as far as wrestling, because Shelton Benjamin's better than average, but average as far as like looks wise, right? Like the standard for white guys in WWE winning the championship is the fucking Miz. The standard for black guys winning the championship in WWE for the longest time was The Rock.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And I think Shelton Benjamin just fell victim to that. It's like once Vince McMahon figured he couldn't fit him into a stereotypes, he tried to create stereotypes for him, dyeing his hair like Cisco, making Thea Vidal be not even his mom, his mammy. She was a mammy character coming out there wearing a onesie blouse or whatever, giving this dude a spanking and shit, smacking him over the back of the head when he was eyeballing Melina and stuff like that. Very, very disrespectful to our people. Just not good stuff, you know. And still Shelton Benjamin rise. And I'll even argue with MVP on something, because he said that they were able to carry the Hurt of Business across 3 companies. I argue they carried it across 4 companies, because they did it in TNA with my boy Kenny King, WWE of course, AEW of course, but you also got to give it to them in
MLW,
New Japan,
MLW too.
Yeah, MLW too, and New Japan too, because in New Japan. Oh, so you can say 5 companies, because in New Japan, Shelton Benjamin and MVP were World Tag Team Champions, man. Yeah. So that's an act they've been able to carry across the world, man. So if I ever see Shelton, or if I ever see MVP again, I'm gonna let him know that, man. It's like that is an act that works, and it works everywhere you take it to, you know. So. Shelton Benjamin, man, he is, to me, the most unsung hero of wrestling. And shout out to Tony Khan, because if TK doesn't do anything else good in his life, the one thing he did that was great was he brought Shelton Benjamin in, gave him a respectable run, took him out of the doldrums that WWE had him in, and put him in situations that made him look strong. I don't know if he'll ever win the AEW world title, but he should definitely at least win the ROH world title. This guy has a wrestling story, and it needs to be capped off good. And at 50 years old, Shelton Benjamin is one of the reasons why you can't even say 50 is old anymore, you know? Right. Like when you if you look back at the 1970s, and the way people in their 40s looked in the 1970s, like Archie Bunker, I was watching All in the Family, and Sanford and Son. These guys were like 44, 45 years old, and they look 65, 70 years old, you know? And Shelton Benjamin, man, is just age defying and just so great. And I'm so glad that when WWE got rid of him, he didn't take the easy way out of being a backstage agent in WWE, because I'm sure they would have given him that. He saw something in himself, went to AEW, reinvented himself, and I give that man all the flowers, man. I don't even need to do another segment like this again, Girard, after this, because I just Shelton Benjamin is the most deserving of that, in my opinion. I can't. It almost brings a tear to my eye to think of what he didn't get in his WWE career that every fucking body else got. But and they'll blame it on charisma, and he couldn't talk, and he couldn't play into our bullshit stereotypes enough. They'll say all kind of crap. He deserved the world title in that company. He deserved to be a main eventer in that company. He deserved to, at least, if Jericho could do it, Benoit can do it. Eddie Guerrero, all those guys. No reason why Shelton Benjamin couldn't have. So that's what I got to say about that. And if you give me like the whole show, I can just go on about this. I could do a fucking case study. I could do a dissertation on Shelton Benjamin and his lack of a WWE run. It's such a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
All right. Well, also speaking of what's all right, we talking about the big three shows, the big three, the triple I, if you will, the Three Musketeers, whatever the triple main event. No such thing as a triple main event, whatever that may be. But our 3 of the month this year. This good God, I keep saying year. It says it's Friday and it's time for me to go to bed. That's what I'm saying. So with that, we gonna go reverse order. Chris, Professor Chris, who is your winner, loser, and your eye of the month?
All right, my winner of the month is going to be if I was going to pick one winner, it would probably be Toni Storm. And the only reason why I'm picking her is because she lost the AEW title, and looking at the totality of her run, she did level up. So she's going to be my main event, my MVP. What else did you say? LVP or?
No, just your winner, your loser, and your eye of the month.
My loser of the month is I don't know who it is in WWE. Maybe it's all of them. Tony Khan, not Tony Khan, Nick Khan, Triple H, whoever is the genius in WWE putting their pay-per-views on at the same time as AEW, and whoever is the genius behind this $30 a month ESPN subscription, take your L, man. That was horrible, man. That it's until they win, and I could change my mind on this, because if they win, I'll go and reverse the decision. But right now that we are in the moment, they are losers. So so Triple H and Tony Khan and The Rock to go ahead and throw his ass in it as well. Yeah.
Right. And then who's your eye? What's the mid? Who's just barely treading water for you?
Who's barely just treading water for me is probably going to be Jungle Boy, because I just, like I said, the heel turn didn't move mountains. He's in a do no harm position. As long as they keep him at this level, I think he'll be fine. The minute you start trying to get creative and putting him back in the main event, then I think we got a problem. But as long as he's, out there coming out to Baltimore, he'll be fine.
Jungle Boy.
No, that,
Ray, how you feel about it, man? Who are your
All right,
winner, your loser, and your eye of the month?
all right. So, my winner, and like I alluded to it, honorable mention goes out to John Moxley, brother. I don't know how you do it, brother. You need to take like 2 months of fishing, brother, because you deserve it. Like I said, taking a bump on Spike with nails embedded in your back a few months ago, and now just getting set on fire. I mean, we don't know if it was actually him in the bag, but I would have put it past him. No, it was probably his idea to get set on fire. And so now, and now they're gonna go into an I Quit match. So that's gonna be interesting to watch. But yeah, I say he's my runner-up / honorable mention, but I think my winner of the month, I alluded to this earlier as well, got to be Io Scott. Io Scott, tremendous work. And like I said, she's low key, but not that low. Like best wrestler, men or women's of the year, regardless of gender. And just the stuff that she's been doing, not only in the ring, but also just the storytelling that she's been putting over with the Kabuki Warriors. And again, another runner-up goes to Kyrie. Girl, Kyrie, poor Kyrie. I love you, Kyrie. I want to see the best for you. I hope all the good things happen to you, Kyrie. Saying, we didn't think that, like, I think she returned to WWE a few years ago after taking kind of a bit of a hiatus. And I'm glad to see that she's finally making things work. And again, it doesn't matter if you speak English or not, as long as you can convey story through your body language and through your facial expressions, like you can get things over. And like she runs the gamut of being like super serious and super thoughtful to being silly to trying to be tough, like especially with her facing off against Stephanie Vaquer, like she's like in the UFC, and then of course Asuka hits that shrieking Kyrie, and it's just backing off a little pit bull. You don't want none of this. So Kyrie definitely gets a runner-up, honorable mention, along with Asuka, who's just been slow burning this turn, and we finally see it. And I don't think people noticed, like when she was throwing the seeds out there a little bit, she had regular makeup on, but as she started to get more and more, like even when she wasn't wrestling, she had like regular makeup on, but when she started getting more and more sinister, we started seeing like the snake or like the caterpillar face paint, which was unique as well. And so it's like, oh, she's fitting to go bad around. So but yeah, Io top dog as far as the big winner, the MVP. All right, the LVP, as Brother Chris so eloquently put it. I like that phrasing. I don't know. I think we all around had some decent. I mean, of course, we could pick Nick Khan and Triple H every month. We wanted to go through it. It's like they the reverse Michael Jordan and LeBron. Like you, they be in the running every single month. But you know what? I'm gonna go with this. Adjacent to them, I'm gonna go with Turkey a la Sheik. Turkey a la Sheik.
Yeah.
Fool this man. Brother, you trying to dip your toes into every little thing. Like it goes from the UFC, dipping your toes in that, and then dipping your toes in boxing with Dana White, and now you dipping your toes with the WWE as well. I was like, I don't know, dog. I just don't trust it. I just don't trust it, especially a brother who's wearing shades at nighttime. You got something to hide, brother. I don't know about you. I knew I wasn't the only one to notice.
I'm laughing for other reasons.
Personal type of room going on right now.
But and my all right of the month. Let me see. Like I said, I think everybody has been on decent footing. I think maybe we have to add this, like who's on the back of our milk cartons of the month, because we ain't see no Jacob Fatu. Solo just disappeared. I put Solo even against my better judgment. I love you, Solo, but you're the honorable mention for the LVP of the month, brother, because they just treat, and then it's nothing because of what you did, brother. Just all about how they treating you, brother. How they treating you and your family tree, brother. As far as the all rights, I think I was going to say at first, if she didn't win the belt, I was going to say that Chris Statlander is in the eye. But since she won the belt, like, you can't just make her all right now that she won the title. So I'm going to flip it on her former best friend, Willow Nightingale. She all right. She treading water a little bit. And we talked about this on the NWA podcast presented by Post Wrestling a couple weeks ago. We talked about just how it's a contrast to where it's like they're boosting up Chris Statlander. And even before she even won the belt, we talked about this. It's like they're strapping the rocket on Chris Statlander, but then they're just putting like a life jacket on Willow Nightingale. They're throwing her in things here and there. Like she was a part of the opener as part of that tailgate brawl, that Saturday tailgate brawl. And then they tried to kind of try to input her into that feud with FTR as well after the pay-per-view, after All Out. So it's like they're giving her stuff to do, but it's not as though it's elevating her in any way. And I know all of us want to see Willow elevated right now, but it's just as though they just got her spinning in the hamster wheel. So I'm gonna go with Willow as my all right of the month.
Oh man, coming after
it hurts me to say it too.
And coming after, it's just my heart. Oh my god, that's tough, right? So you gonna see why too. I sent you a little message. You gonna see why that's tough on the back end as well. But we gonna move on to Jay. Jay, what you rocking with, man?
Man, Ray just did a double turn on you, man.
He said, suspicious how people wear sunglasses at night, and I'm like,
oh,
and that's why I was laughing.
I didn't even think of you, brother.
Personal attack, right?
That's exactly.
That was no shade,
like,
brother. No shade.
Wait till it comes back.
Literally, I got my shades on and I'm catching shades.
Oh man! All right.
I didn't mean to do you. I didn't mean to do you like that downtown. I'm sorry, Dub.
It's all good.
I fit the description, I guess.
Man,
Jay, man.
All right. So winner of the month. I kind of gave it away in my header. Dom Mysterio is my winner of the month. Cool. This dude is a double champion. I mean, he's got the AAA Mega Championship, and I believe that's a World Championship too. So that's very something. And he's also got the Intercontinental Championship. So, and this dude has done the impossible. I really, really despised at one point the what's the name? American Grande Americano.
Oh yeah,
like 3 of them running around there. I'm starting to turn around on it. You know what I mean? So he's done the impossible. He's taken something that was just super ridiculous and corny and just turned it to something that's, actually entertaining. So I'm very much sports entertained right now with him and his work. So that's my winner of the month.
All right.
Loser of the month. Man, okay. So we all talked about Wrestlepalooza, the PLE. So that's my 1A, and we talked about that to death already.
AKA Wrestlepaloozers.
Wrestlepalooza, you know? This one is going out to, and I hope the allegations are not true, but Masha Slamovich.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Boo this woman. You know, anybody that puts their hands on their partner, I lost a lot of respect. I saw the I know there's an investigation going out, and again, I hope the allegations are not true. I'm hoping that the people that are impacted by this are, thoughts and prayers to them. Hope they get the help that they need. But at the same time, it's like, look, we should all be adults. We should all be able to talk things out instead of getting physical when tensions arise. So again, if the allegations are true, then for sure that's my loser of the month. But again, it's all alleged, so I wasn't there. We don't know the full story, and so we're just waiting for the details to come out. But that's where my mind is at. And my all right of the month, Ray, you took my thunder on this one, man. I was like, "Where's the bloodline? Where's my family tree at? Where's my Talatonga? Where everybody at? You know what I mean? They're yet to be seen. So they're my all rights of the month. The other all right of the month I got is John Cena's retirement tour, because it's just been all right. I mean, it all goes back to the story that's being told, and so hopefully with the remaining days he's got left on the calendar, we're able to get some kind of satisfaction to send this dude off, who's again a certified Hall of Famer. Hopefully, we are sports entertained. That seems to be my thing right now. So hopefully that turns around and we get some kind of conclusion to send him off into his retirement.
Okay.
Good choices.
For me, you're gonna talk about a winner. My winner for this month is most definitely AEW / AJ Lee. Honorable mention for AJ Lee, because that's my girl. Seeing her come back, I was happy for that. I am one of the people, the millennials that she was talking about, jumping up and down, being happy about that. And Shawty got a therapy chant going on. If you need some help,
oh yes,
it's there to go talk to somebody, please, because do not be holding that stuff in. That weight can get heavy, so go talk to somebody. And like she stated, she had to go get her help, go do her thing. Almost mirroring Punk's promo from the first dance. So like, I had to go take care of myself and then come back. And so like, she did her thing and had her tag match and won. So like, shouts out to AJ Lee. But AEW, stay in the course. Consistent television shows, consistent star building. You got me back on track with Jack. Like, you doing different things, and I see y'all out there. Stay in the course. Even the Tony Khan announcement, we got new tag team titles coming up. I could easily see a Megan May and Penelope Ford winning that in a finals against a Tony Storm and a Mina. And a Tony Storm having to come to a reckoning like, hey, yo, what am I doing? I like what they're doing on that side of the fence. I like that we're building Kyle. I like that we're trying to keep Bandito and King as like this good tag team act that's actually killing it. We're building stars, we're building new things, and I see the future for AEW. I'd love to see what they're gonna do when they fill that space. When WrestleMania goes to Saudi Arabia, I'm curious to see what AEW. They've already said they're going to do something with it.
Yes.
Already, you're my winner. Hey, keep cooking, get in that kitchen and get back to it. My loser have to be on the other side of the fence. We talking about WWE. I'm good with WWE after all that barking with no bite. Yo, Wrestlepalooza, what was that? We need to slow it down.
Right.
Stop all that yapping about how hyped it's about to be if it's actually not going to deliver. Where were your... We all about cinema. We're about moments. We're about moments. And so, where was that moment? Like I stated earlier, where was the palooza, if you will? And so, I'm good with WWE. you are shiesty with your tactics to go against WWE. And even if you say, oh, that was ESPN, or oh, and this is just a perk of what we're doing, we see you. And it's not working, man. Come better. Come harder than that.
Mm.
But WWE, I'm good, man. So you the loser of the month.
They call me Big LS. You lose.
And then for my alright of the month, and this is no disrespect because it's not really alright. It's almost like a secondary, like positive, good thing, a winner. It's the Raw Women's Division. It's not just the EO, the Asuka. It's also what we're doing with building Stephanie Vicaire. It's also that fact that we have this Degrassi-like storyline that's just kind of silly and goofy to me of like, oh, EO, oh, Rhea, oh, no. Like, I'm burning with this with this mist in my eyes on Raw. Oh, my eyes, oh, my eyes. And then what are we fading out saying? EO! Oh. What we're doing, this is the same thing we did with Cody. When we needed to give Cody something between 39 and 40, we gave him a tag run. We're now giving Rhea her tag run in between for something we can see the tag belts eventually floating over to them, but we got to get done with the Kabuki Warriors first and Crown Jewel. So I like what we're doing with this. I like the drama. I like the silliness. It's fun. And I like seeing other stories in the women's division being built around just hey, don't talk to her. Stop talking about that. There's no gold on the line. There's no, we trying to build some gold. Well, there's gold here and there. But the main focus of the story is, hey, I don't like you talking to my friend. And hey, that's your friend. It's her choice to talk to me. And then you got Kyrie like, hey, we just got to do what the boss say, because if we don't do what the boss say, man, we might be out here. We're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you better follow the line. So I want to see this keep cooking. I'm curious to see when Asuka gets her due. And maybe that's why this falls into the eye and it doesn't go higher for me. Because I'm curious to see when Asuka starts winning. So that's my eye of the month. The Raw Women's, EO, Asuka, Rhea, Kyrie division storyline. Loving that.
It's not right, but it's okay.
But with that said, we have covered it all. We have done it all, y'all. Class is over. You hear that bell ringing? That means it's time to go. I keep saying the year, so it means I need to go to bed. So with that said, everybody, let's run the gambit, promote whatever you'd like to promote, and we'll get about this door. So, Professor Chris, what's on Substack?
Oh, yeah. The Substack, I just reached over 1,000 subscribers, so thank you for that.
Right.
Congrats.
And then, just check us out on the NWA podcast on Post Wrestling. And I'm actually, because I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm being booked for like certain talk shows and shit like that. So just be on the lookout on that. Once I'm booked, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, I'm doing a few things. So.
Be careful on them streets, brother. We know how people coming against folks who speak their mind, whether it's for the correct reasons or whether the incorrect reasons. So be safe out there, Chris.
Right. Of course.
Hollywood Chris Ealy on the streets. I get you.
So, but Ray, what you got popping off, man?
Oh, brother, you know me. I'm just living life. Continue to put out stuff for right here at the Nefarious Media Network. I will be, by the end of this week, if not by tomorrow, I will have up the newest edition of the Styles Break Fights podcast. Again, Chi-Chi wasn't able to join me this time around, but I am not alone. I am joined by my personal friend, mixed martial arts instructor Teddy Bezrad, and we just get into his history with combat sports, and we also just talked about what his influences were, and then we dabble into how one form of machismo when it comes to the action stars of the 80s and 90s kind of dovetail into another type of machismo that we're experiencing now with the manosphere, with the Joe Rogans, with the Andrew Tates, and how that's related to combat sports, how Dana White was able to use that to kind of hitch a ride to that in order to gain some profitability from that. And if he's going to remain on that train, if things change within the White House. So we dabbled in that for a little bit. And then I also touched on the Crawford Canelo fight. I touched on that, touched how historic that was, and just talked about some of the upcoming fights, some of the upcoming pay-per-view cards that are coming up, including, I believe, this coming weekend we got Magomed Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira, part 2 rematch of their duel in which Ankalaev was able to wrest away the light heavyweight championship from Poatan. We'll see if Poatan is in any kind of shape to regain that title. So we talk about that, and we talk about some other upcoming fights, especially one that I'm most looking forward to. The Bullet, Valentina Shevchenko, is defending her UFC flyweight championship. I believe it's flyweight. No, flyweight? Yeah, flyweight championship.
Strawweight's under that. Yeah. So, yeah, you flyweight.
Yes, against the former UFC strawweight champion, Zhang Weili. So that's the fight I'm looking most forward to, and I talk a lot about that as well. So all that is coming out soon, as well as just some more stuff. Keep your eyes peeled on all of the social media for Nefarious Media. Who knows? You may just happen to get, even before this night is through, you may just get a little bit of short as I talk about an upcoming video game that was hinted to, and that we finally got a trailer to after being teased with it for years. I'm going to be talking about that, so keep your eyes glued if you're a part of any of our social medias, whether it be IG, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, right here on YouTube. Keep your eyes peeled for that as well. So that's all I got.
Cool.
Hey, Jay, what you got for us, man?
Man, I can't believe Ray got himself an advanced copy of GTA 6. Man, that's crazy.
Don't tell nobody.
Hey, nefarious means. I get you, brother. Hey, so check me out. Jarek _wins on Instagram. I'm pretty active there. Catch me on the Twitter, the X, whatever you want to call it. Check me out here on the Nefarious Media, on the Parlay NWA podcast, and pretty much anything else I get invited to. So, if it's cooking, I got a big pot and a big spoon, so I'm going to stir it up just like that. So,
yeah, we all know you're all about stirring the pot, brother Jay. You all about, we know that.
That's what I do. I mean, you do what you do well, and I stir a pot. So, hey.
Sprinkle a little nugget in there, stir it around.
Just a little bit.
Something light, But talking about food, talking about dinner, you can catch me driving to Taco Bell as I go pick up this dinner after I get off this show. You can catch me on the Nefarious Media Network. I might be driving to Taco Bell, but what am I also doing? I'm on the drive for 500. And so that means hit subscribe, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Patreon. Our goal is to get 500 new subscribers or 500 total subscribers on both our YouTube and our Patreon. So help us. Just the cost of a little more of sometimes we've reduced some costs, so a little bit less value than you, or you can get on that biggie bag size. So feel free to jump on. Here are great shows, like we said, SBF. We got Super Salad. We got Game Theory. We got the Parlay. We got the OG, the mothership, the kings of sport. And so jump on board, come ride with us, and we got some good stuff for your ears. And so class is over. Collect your pen and your pad. Get your ass up out my classroom. Because, hey, that was the show. Peace and chicken grease, y'all.